about 2 weeks ago, I was on the road and I was thinking about the guy I used to pick on a lot. A couple weeks ago, I went to buy an iPro pad with my wife. What?
Just keep going. It's on iPad Pro. We got it. Just by the way, for very quickly, your wife called me last week about something, and we laughed for about 3 minutes about mirrors.
What mirrors?
The mirrors when you call the windows mirrors. But I don't want to distract from this story.
I don't even know. All right, so I go to this fucking place, and there's this light-skinned sister. I mean, she's really light-skinned with 1,000 freckles on her. And I sat there with her, and I really got a great kick out of it. I gave her a great rating when Sprint hit me up. I always think about going in there saying hello, but I don't want to seem like a creepy uncle, so I just won't go in there. But I really fell in love with her because she was cool as shit, but she reminded me of this dude in prison I was tight with. He was one of those orange black dudes.
What?
He was orange, but he had freckles, and he had freckles everywhere.
I don't think I've seen anyone like that.
Well, the basketball player from the Celtics. But you don't remember him. When I was a kid, I forget what his name is. They're those black dudes that got freckles. They got a bunch of freckles and shit. Well, this dude had a bunch of freckles, and he was like orange skin, black, and he had like orange, black hair. It was fucking hilarious. And he worked in the kitchen with us. Okay. And he would always be telling stories about he was a drug dealer, and Chicken Hawk used to tell him to shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, Negro. What the fuck are you talking about? You bummed 3 cigarettes from me yesterday. You ain't no fucking drug dealer.
Did he make a noise or something? Why did he call himself Chicken Hawk? Did he like...
I don't know. I never asked him. Chicken Hawk. He used to make me go into the black rooms and play domino with him in the prison. They would fucking hate me, but there was nothing they could do. He was Antoine Spencer Antoine and shit, a.k.a. Chicken Hawk from New Orleans. And he told us one day, like, when somebody's telling you a funny routine, like if you watch Bill Burr, you get submerged in that shit. Right. And you start laughing your ass off, or Segura or Rogan. Sometimes you get submerged in that shit. We're in the kitchen one day, Lee. The way me and you sit here, like with Becky or somebody else when they come in here, Nick Turturro, we're just sitting here talking. But there was like 5 of us. And they would cook shit in the kitchen, and then each of us would smuggle stuff from the bodega, and we'd make a big meal one day a week.
All the kitchen employees.
All the kitchen employees would go to the store every day, even if they had to borrow money from us. They'd go to the store every day, and then they'd bring back supplies. And on Friday, we'd make like a Puerto Rican gumbo, like real tiny shrimp with imitation crab meat. And then, he would make like Louisiana, the kid from New Orleans, Antoine. He would make that. And then we'd make saltine crackers with sardines. Oof. Oh, yeah. We'd be throwing heat and shit on fucking Fridays, living like doctors and that motherfucker.
Blowing up your toilets.
Oh, disgusting. I was living off those fucking things. But that was one of the weirdest, because you always hang out with people and they tell you funny stories, right? Like they tell you stories about going on vacation or when their kid played in the 3rd grade or whatever. This guy was telling us a story, how he murdered the guy he was in prison for. And we were in tears on the floor howling. That's how funny he was. You're listening to me going, Joey, how can somebody tell you about a murder and you're in tears?
So he told you about the murder?
He told us the whole day, how it went down, why it went down.
So he had already gone through the whole trial? He wasn't...
Yeah, we were doing time. That's it. He had nothing to lose.
Jesus Christ.
So we're sitting around eating fucking lunch, whatever. Everybody else was gone from the cafeteria. It's like 6 of us just sitting there. I think me and Purdy. This dude's name was Andrew Purdy, a fucking good-looking white dude from Cali, blonde hair, the whole fucking thing. There was a troop of those dudes, too. There was a dude that looked like Don Henley from California that was there. He was doing federal time for fucking reefer.
Oh, my God.
For importing reefer from California to Colorado. And there was another white dude there, and I got to tell you something. All 3 of them were cool. The older white dude used to give me books and shit to read.
Very nice.
He was fucking cool as shit. But Purdy and me was so tight, we ended up at the same halfway house in Boulder.
Oh, shit.
Bam!
Reunion.
And then there was another guy that was a car dealer that was turning back the miles. Okay? He was turning back the miles on the car. And he was doing time. His name was Kelly. His last name was Kelly. I don't know what his first name was.
Probably shouldn't say it.
A coke fiend motherfucker. Even in prison, he was slinging coke, snorting coke. I had to avoid him like the plague.
Did he teach you how to roll it back?
Yeah, he taught me. I knew how to roll it back, but he was a pro at it, and he got caught. But he was the guy that he would be working the he'd be working the line. Okay, so I would work in the morning, guys. Okay, my shift was 7 a.m. to 9:10. I would wash my hands, go to my room, take a piss, and shoot right to the library.
Okay.
And then I wouldn't have to go back in there till 11:45, till about 1:45, and then me and the guys would sit around and talk shit.
And one day he was just like, "Hey,
so it's all
I ever tell you guys if I want to murder the guy?"
Right. So this white dude, the dude who was in jail for turning back miles, Lee, he was hilarious. He wore glasses. He was goofy, but he was a killer. He was cool as shit. Like he was just running a one-man operation out of a fucking big-time Chrysler dealership in Lakewood. Like this dealer had been there for 40 years, family. He disgraced it single-handedly. He was snorting coke. He was fucking the receptionist. He was fucking customers' wives. I mean, he was a one-man demolition crew, and he had zero remorse. His wife would come in crying, and he'd fucking tell her, go fuck yourself. Deal with it. I left you 20 G's. He was nuts. But the cool thing about him was that he was the dude who put the food out. You know those dudes that put the food out in the trays?
Caterers?
No. He was no fucking caterer. He worked in the kitchen.
Okay.
But his job was to fucking take the mashed potatoes and put them over the fucking sternos. And then the other thing over the sternos. So he would put out like 6 things. Vegetable, or fucking this or that or whatever.
In a kitchen at a car dealership?
No, this is at the fucking prison.
Oh, gotcha.
Jesus Christ. We're at the prison.
Gotcha.
And he was in charge of putting out the food. Okay. So as soon as he'd lay out the food, I'd go up to him and I'd go, "What's the story?" And he'd go, "Don't do it." Like he would just, and I would go, "Okay." And I would sit in the back and the black dudes would come in and that was my code to them. Don't do it. I mean, and that was it. Don't do it. Don't do it. And it was me and Kelly. I think his name was Kelly. It wasn't Frank. That's a different dude. This guy was like Mike or Daniel or something like that. This was a party. All right, so back to lunch. We're eating lunch, and we're eating, and somebody was talking about something, and Chicken Hawk had the gold tooth. He was dressed in white. If you worked the kitchen, you had to dress in white, and he had black boots on. I'll never forget it like it was yesterday. And when we were in jail, they were doing the Jerry curl. But his Jerry curl was all fucked up. So his head would stick up in the air like a lunatic and shit.
Okay.
And it just added to his persona. And we're sitting there fucking eating, and all of a sudden he's telling us, yeah, it was like that dad killed that motherfucker. And we're like, huh? And he's like, yeah, man, I'm in front of my motherfucking house. And I don't know what he was talking about. Like, he just went into it, Lee.
Just if he was saying, "Hey, you remember the game last night?" He just went into it.
Yeah, like just we were sitting there, a bunch of us all day drinking. I never did a drug in my life. And he was talking. That's what made him unique. Like, he didn't believe in drugs. He didn't want them around. If he would tell you when you moved into that chef barrack, the kitchen barrack, if you do drugs, don't move into barracks, bro, because I'm going to find out and I'm going to have you moved out. So if you do drugs, I'm telling you right now, don't move in the chef barrack. There's another barrack for kitchen help. It wasn't as nice, though. So that's why I lived in that barrack.
And did you follow the rules?
Yeah, I didn't do drugs in there.
Okay.
I didn't smoke pot in there. I did acid a few times. They test you, Lee. And if they test you, you're at a minimum security camp. You're living like a doctor. Nobody says boo to you.
Okay.
Okay? If you really wanted to, you could drink. But what am I going to get drunk with a bunch of guys and do what? So I did acid with the librarian. the crazy librarian, and this black Christian dude one night.
Sounds like fun.
No. Oh, I got a little ball itch there.
Who doesn't?
What are we talking about?
We're talking about Spencer Antoine telling his
So now
story.
he's telling us the story and how he was there all day, having a great time barbecuing, and he went to the front of his house, and there was something going on. And he's like, this is why you got to be careful. He goes, I learned that from that day on, you got to walk away because you don't know what this other motherfucker's carrying. And something happened. I mean, bro, he locked us in. It was like the greatest story I had ever heard in my life at that point. And this isn't by somebody who's braggadocio. He was very quiet. He wasn't a loud black guy at all.
Very matter of
If he
fact.
went to the movie theaters, he wouldn't say a word. Because I'd have to beat him to get a word out of him when we're watching football and shit. He loved to laugh. He was about 6'2", 225. He had like 4 kids. He made a lot of money. Like, he wasn't a drug dealer. He made a lot of money. He did something like construction, and he was a realtor. You could tell he was a sharp guy. If I was 25, he was about 35. I know he had like one of the best attorneys. I know he paid a lot for his attorney to get him out. He paid a lot of money, because I remember him talking about he had to make 3 payments of $50,000 the first 6 months or something, and then for the trial, he had to pay him again or something like that. So I know he had a white attorney, a Jew or something. I forget what he used to brag about him. But yeah, he said he went up to the dude, and the dude pulled a gun on him. And he goes, this dumb motherfucker, gonna pull a gun on me in front of my house. He was living like in 1950.
It was a white guy?
No, I think it was a black guy. You never disrespect a black guy like that. There's some people, bro, you take a weapon out in their fucking house, you're dead. You're dead. That's a fucking goal to some people to shoot you. You don't bring a weapon.
Wouldn't that be in defense if
I
he
come
killed?
into your house, I put my gun in the fucking trunk before I walk in your house. Why would I walk
appreciate
in your house
that,
with a gun? So the same thing.
Okay.
This guy, but he didn't look at it like that. He didn't know. It's like, I don't even know you. It's like if you knock on the door right now and you're like, I'm going to shoot everybody motherfucking in here. Who's fucking my wife in here? I'm like, dog.
No one's fucking your wife.
Nobody's fucking your wife. We're in here doing a podcast. My wife is in these motherfuckers. I'm going to start shooting bitches and, whatever. And you go out there and all of a sudden you end up fucking shot or whatever. He said he told the guy to put the gun away. And the guy told him, get the fuck away from me before I shoot your black ass and a bunch of other shit. So he said he just turned around and walked into his fucking house.
Ooh, that was a mistake.
And that was a mistake. He came right back out with a knife and a gun.
Oof.
And he was selling a Cuba. I came out with a knife and a fucking gun. He just killed them in front of his house.
It's too bad he didn't have the gun on him, because then he could have just killed him in self-defense.
It was some crazy fucking story, man. But I remember all of us were like, it was one of those stories where you're sitting there and your head's fucking spinning from the story. Like, what the fuck?
What the fuck did I just hear? Yeah.
It was really crazy, Lee. That was those couple. Like, I remember, I wasn't proud of going to prison. I was proud of going to prison for one reason, because I got it out of the way. Like, by the time I got sentenced and I digested 4 years, I was like, you know what? I'll be even when I get out of here. That's it. My karma will start from scratch. What the fuck are you giggling about? Nobody.
Why did you like him? What did he do?
He did an error.
I knew a second ago, but now keep going from where you told it, because then
You know that little forehead you got?